Well, we're at the clip that everyone's been waiting for. Don't Fear the Reaper and Saturday Night Live and Christopher Walken and Cowbells. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. I mean, it really is a compliment, that Saturday night famous clip with Will Ferrell and the Cowbell, Christopher Walken, and Don't Fear the Reaper. Joe Bouchard was with Blue Oyster Cult from 1970 to 1986. He was there for the heyday, Burning for You, Godzilla, and Don't Fear the Reaper. But there was so much more to Blue Oyster Cult. We talk about that famous clip on Saturday Night Live. I would be remiss if I didn't mention a certain actor who dances really well. And I know, and by the way, I listened to your Christopher Walken song this morning.
Walking her home.
I didn't know it existed. Pardon my ignorance, but I was listening to it. It's really, really cool. I mean, it's almost like you, I know all you guys take it in great stride because it really was a compliment, and it's a huge part of culture. Gave it another life, of course. And that song's had many lives.
Right.
What was your first reaction when you saw the SNL clip with the Cowbell?
I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
Really, really funny. You know, I say this all the time, but you know, my part is played by Horatio Sands. Yeah. The bass player, of course, always the fat guy. Now I was fat, but I was never that fat. That adds to the comedy. Yes. I love that. It really opened up general populace at the time. You know, the teens, the people that buy records, they never heard of Blue Oyster Cult in 2000 when it came out in 2000. So it introduced us to a whole new generation that, you know, they might have heard the song and they didn't know what the name Blue Oyster Cult was, but they might have heard the song. But everybody knows about more Cowbell. I mean, you know, so I think since then, our music has just taken on a second life.
Yeah. If you're parodied by someone in such I found it so respectful. I stopped in my tracks. I remember where I was when I saw it. That's how big that moment was for me because I was such a fan of the band too. So here I am telling Joe Bouchard, and by the way, my end of the interview did not tape, so we just have his end, but his is the important side. I told Joe Bouchard, I said, you know what? Until Saturday Night Live, I didn't know that song had Cowbell, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh, yeah. It's true. Well, here's my theory. Columbia, I think maybe the year before, 1999, or they put out Best of Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper, and they remastered it for the CD. Now, you couldn't hear the Cowbell on the vinyl. It was so deep into the buried. But when they mastered it for CD, the Cowbell got louder. They got louder. And I'm thinking, you know, the writers on Saturday Night Live, they're in the writing room. They're probably smoking on it. And they're putting the headphones on. And they say, oh, there's a Cowbell there. Oh, that could be funny. And, you know, I think Will Ferrell was involved with that. But, you know, it was a fluke. It was a downright fluke. And the costumes that they wore in the skit looked a lot like the pictures on the inside of that CD. So I can imagine the costume lady had that CD and was looking at those pictures like, I got to make guy look like that. And I got to make, you know, Gene look like that. And of course they got the names all screwed up and backwards. And there was no, Bruce Dickinson was just the mastering engineer. He didn't have anything to do with the production. But so I was in the studio and the song's finished. And they had like, there's a 24 track recorder. So they had like one extra track. And we had this producer, David Lucas, who loved to add little magical little bits. And he said, let's put the percussion on this. Give it a little, you know, thing. So he tried some bongos and it was okay, but the bongos had to go. And then he said, maybe, how about a flugelhorn part? We happen to have a horn player in the studio, Randy Brecker, great trumpet player. Yeah. So he comes out, he's playing the flugelhorn. I said to David, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. And I rarely contradicted him, but that sucked. So the flugelhorn was gone. So we're just sitting around, almost done. And he says, I think it needs a cowbell. Albert, go out there and put a cowbell on this thing. So he got the cowbell out of the percussion box. The studio had like their in-house percussion box. And I'm sitting on a couch looking at him like, don't screw this up. Don't screw it up. Come on. And he played it one take, perfect, all the way through. No fix-ups, no overdubs, just solid, straight cowbell all the way through. And the rest is history.
Wow.
But David Lucas told him to do it, and then he did it. Well, now, Eric Bloom sometimes takes credit for the cowbell because Eric did play a lot of shakers and percussion on records. And David Lucas is a drummer and a very good drummer, so he often played some percussion parts. But I was a witness.
There you go.
I was sitting on the couch, and when Albert finished, I was like, that's over. And he didn't screw it up.
The African Queen, I call that a traffic ticket song. You're going to get a traffic ticket if you're listening to that song. I love that tune. Tell me about that one.
I'll quote you on that. Traffic ticket song.
It's got an anthem feel to it. I like that.
Right. I really didn't know too much about old movies, but now I've got a lot of time. Not going out on any big tours right now. And so I started watching some old movies, and one of them was The African Queen. I'd heard about it, but I'd never seen it all the way through. So I watched it, and I said, I got to write a song called The African Queen. But it's very simple. You take the story of missionaries in Africa and riding down the river. I mean, I grew up on the St. Lawrence River, so I'm kind of a river guy. I'm into that.
Where'd you grow up?
Upstate New York.
Where'd you grow up?
Upstate New York. The Thousand Islands, part of the St. Lawrence River.
Mm-hmm.
I was right, probably 100 yards from the Canadian border. That's where our cottage is on Wellesley Island, in the middle of the St. Lawrence.
I was born off the St. Lawrence in Montreal.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
We're close to Ottawa, and
yeah.
So my of course, being a Bouchard, you have Canadian ancestors. They walk over on the ice, I guess.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Bouchards, by the way. My name is Beaudin, but I can't say Beaudin on radio because no English person wants to say Beaudin. So I call my name is Beaudin, and I've been John Beaudin on the radio for all those years. But yeah, I noticed your last name. Yeah. More from Joe Bouchard coming up next week. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos, and buy one of our t-shirts. Help support the channel. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music.